Leticia was born April 23, 1972, in Guadalajara, Mexico. Leticia is the oldest of 4 siblings. She was able to attend school and even graduate high school in Mexico, which was uncommon in Mexico during that time. At the age of 19, Leticia married Gerardo. Gerardo was her neighbor growing up. While they were engaged, he would go back and forth between Mexico and the United States to find work. Once they were married, Leticia left her parents and family behind to join Gerardo in Orange Cove, California. Coming to a new country, one you know nothing about, especially knowing you aren't supposed to be here legally, was terrifying. What was worse for Leticia was not being able to communicate with those around her. While Gerardo worked to make enough money for rent, Leticia was left at home scared and alone. She would walk around the neighborhood to become familiarized with the area and to pass time. She saw this new world around her and was shocked with the differences between both her native country and this new country. The buildings were different, the food was different, and the interactions between people were different. She really wanted to go back home with her family, but decided to push through because she knew she would eventually be able to give her children a better life than the one she had, a life filled with possibilities and options. When her firstborn, Angel, finally began preschool, she was forced to come in contact with the English language. Angel would come home with worksheets and books which contained foreign words to her. She felt bad not being able to help him complete assignments or correct him if he was wrong, because she had no idea whether he was right or wrong. She felt as if she was being a bad mother because she wasn't able to help him. Right then and there, she decided that she wanted to learn English for her son and for herself. She knew that at her age it was going to be difficult to learn an entire new language, but she also knew that it wasn't impossible. Leticia first learned by listening to what her son or his teacher would say. She was able to find meaning in the words by looking for clues such as facial expressions, body language, signs, and examples. Though Leticia understood the language and was able to translate between English and Spanish, she was still having trouble being able to speak fluently and write. At the age of 29, she enrolled in an adult school for English language learners. At this school, Leticia was able to learn how to read and write in English. She was given assignments that helped her understand the correct use of grammar. For example, she learned how adding an S or ES at the end of a noun makes it plural, cats meaning more than one cat. These activities helped her get the hang of reading and writing the basics of English. When she needed help on an assignment, her children were always there to help her understand. Coming to school was extremely beneficial for Leticia because she was finally placed in an environment where the people around her were all facing the same obstacles. She befriended many of her classmates, and together they motivated one another. She didn't feel judged or embarrassed to try. Leticia was able to learn through conversations with her classmates. Leticia states that she grasped the language better by having actual conversations because she was forcing herself to recall words she learned and gave them meaning, as opposed to writing a word over and over again on a sheet of paper. 21 years after she came to the United States, Leticia was finally able to get her residency. She was extremely happy after receiving the documents. She felt relieved knowing that she no longer had to worry about being deported. In the 21 years Leticia lived in California, she made friends and extended her family with 4 children. Leticia struggled with being judged because she didn't know English and because she didn't speak English as an American would speak it. Leticia just kept having faith in herself. She always reminded her children to never let anyone bring them down because no matter what they do, there will always be someone rooting for them to fail. It was up to us to decide on whether or not we will let them dictate our future. When Gerardo was unable to work for a period of time, Leticia decided that she needed to find a job in order to support her family. She knew that her children needed a roof over their head and food in their stomachs. Leticia wanted to show her children that they didn't have to worry about the necessities, so she got a job at a fast food restaurant. While working, Leticia was faced in situations in which she needed to speak English in order to communicate with the customers. Leticia has a strong accent. Instead of special, she would say especial. She would try her best to pronounce words with that heavy accent. Sometimes customers would correct her or ask her if she could repeat herself. Leticia simply tried again. Sometimes Leticia would get frustrated with herself for not being able to pronounce certain words correctly, but she would always look on the bright side of things and would try again. When Gerardo was finally able to work again, he told Leticia that she could quit her job if she wanted to. Leticia decided that she wanted to stay and work. She said that even though it wasn't the best job, it was still a job. She was still earning her own money and was finally able to buy herself whatever she wanted. Leticia wanted to feel independent and break away from the stereotypes she was taught as a child that women should be dependent of their husbands. After years of practicing and being surrounded by the language, Leticia was able to learn how to speak English. Though she may still struggle with going back and forth between languages, Leticia is proud of herself for pushing through. With her children as her motivation, she never gave up. All the fears and challenges she faced after coming to the United States are nothing compared to the happiness she feels knowing that all her 4 children are going to college and pursuing the American dream.